Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week. And gosh darn it, what a week it was. We had a green ending to the week. That wasn't so bad. We had, let's say we didn't have as much chaos as we could normally have. So that wasn't too good. And, well, April is finally finished. So April, it's kind of interesting. We look at March. March was the down part of the V. April was the up part of the V. We completed a V-shaped recovery. But what does that mean for May? What is gonna happen this coming month? Guys, I threw a poll up. I am curious to see what you guys think. Are we gonna have a green month? Are we gonna have a red month? Or is it gonna be just too close to call? Is it gonna be really, really flat? Let's find out. I don't think it's going to be flat. I think there's going to be volatility. I'm kind of leaning towards the green. But guys, make up your own decision. Hit it up in the poll. Let's see how that is going to turn out. I also want to talk about drones. And probably from the title, you're thinking, I think we're talking about drones. So, are drones a game changer? And what do I mean by that? I mean a lot, actually. Let's just look at the conflict between the United States and Iran. The United States was sending in, a lot of the missiles that the U.S. launched did get through for sure, but a lot of their missiles, their defensive missiles, were used shooting down cheap drones. That's kind of interesting. If you look at Ukraine, Ukraine has held off a giant Russian army with drones, pretty much, and they've shown that they can do some serious damage with drones. So much so that a lot of the Gulf states have been talking to Ukraine saying, we want some pointers in case we have to start using drones to defend ourselves against Iran. Well, guess who has also been talking to Ukraine? Well, Taiwan. And guess who doesn't like that? Well, you guessed it, China. Now, a lot of people have been speculating that with the U.S. kind of, not in the best shape, they've used up a lot of their missiles, no matter what. I know Donald Trump says, oh, we got tons of missiles, we're fine. Well, there's been reports that say the opposite. So I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think they have some missiles, of course, but I don't think, I think they're depleted quite a bit. And a missile, well, these missiles they cost millions of dollars. They take 3 to 4 weeks to make, 3 to 4 years, weeks. Yeah, 3 to 4 years to usually, to usually make a lot of these missiles. It's not a quick process. Maybe if they rush them, they might be able to get replenishment in like 2 years, but it's concerning, and Iran has really hurt them with, of course, drones. But here's the thought. Here's where it comes. Like, a lot of people were thinking, okay, well, with the U.S., kind of depleted like that, they may not have the resources to defend Taiwan. Maybe this is the perfect time for China to step in while the U.S. is busy, while the U.S. is depleted. But now you got to look. If Taiwan is sitting back there preparing a drone defense, a drone attacks, for one, I mean, if you try to bring ground troops in, you gotta get them in. Sure, you can fly. That's probably not the easiest way, and probably a very difficult way to get troops in. But yeah, they bring them in by ship. They would do a lot of their attacks by ocean, by sea. And, those ships might be sitting targets for drones. So, you know what? It's kind of interesting. So, military might not be that mighty anymore. Having a giant military may not be as useful, at least not if you're planning to have a nice, easy war, because if the if your smaller opponent can just use drones to keep you at bay, that's something to think about. And it's kind of got me thinking about this whole thing. I think, I kind of thought that China would finally make a move on Taiwan, but now I'm beginning to second guess that because I think China's kind of like maybe not. So they could be absolutely. Oh no, that's different. I just happened to glance at the test box, and there's a commercial. But it's a weird thing. It actually put it into a split screen, had the stream on one side, the commercial on the other. If any of you have experienced that, let me know. Can you still hear me? Is it just more or less just a visual commercial? I'm kind of curious. I can't tell, of course, on the test box because everything is muted. But anyway, that broke me out of my that just broke me out of my little tangent to start the show. But nonetheless, going back to the drones, I think drones are going to be very interesting. And quite literally, guys, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Are drones kind of that great equalizer? Like if you are a big country, if you want to take somebody, does it mean you pretty much need to come in, boots on the ground? And what's to say, if you send troops in, you can send drones after troops. So that could be really interesting. Anyway, guys, let's get to the chat. Let's get to the chat here. We're starting the show off with Paul. Paul jumped in with a $1 super sticker. That puts the goats on the board. We have the evil Monopoly goat making an appearance. Thank you, Paul. Great way to start the show off. And let's see. Paul says, "I am working. We'll tune in on my break." Absolutely. Jonathan says, "Am I late for Paul?" Yes, he's working now. Bismarcky says, "Happy Sunday all." And Prairie, "Good afternoon, community, and happy Sunday." And we've got Kelly with a happy Sunday as well. And happy Sunday all from Stan. And good afternoon, everyone, from Lance. And a hello from Cindy. And a good afternoon from Scott. A hey from Wahipple. And I updated my Blossom this morning, added my RRSP to it. Nice. And speaking of Wahipple, we got a gifted sub. Scott, you won. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Wahipple. And of course, guys, that's our Bay Street goat. Goat Squad is in the building. I should have worn my Goat Squad shirt today. Now I'm thinking about it. All right, let's get back to where we were. And we were after a big Wahippalathon. Here we are. We got to Lance. It's listed in USD, but DRNZ. It's a drones. Is it an ETF or just a company? We'll look in a second. Is good drone? Oh, it is an ETF. Is a good drone ETF? I have Shield. Not as much drone exposure in that one. There we go. So we got DRNZ. That is that? I think that's on the New York Stock Exchange, isn't it? Let's take a quick gander. DR. Whoa. Let's not do that. There we go. DRNZ. Let's see. DRNZ right here. Yeah, Rex Drone ETF. So right here it is on. What's that? It's on the Nasdaq. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. And it hasn't been out for a while, but it's doing good. It's doing good. And I mean, if drones keep on becoming the thing, that's the thing. Like if Canada is looking at all of this. Of course, we've got drones, and we'll probably get more. If it's a cheap way to defend yourself, why wouldn't you? All right. A says, "I don't think future of war is how much you can win, but how much you can afford to lose. More industrialized you are, the more you have to lose." Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Obviously, if you've got missiles coming at you at incredible speeds, it's going to be hard to take them down with drones. It will be very hard. So defensively, well, it depends on the missiles, right? It depends on the missiles. Um, Now, one missile that would be really hard to take down with a drone is if we were looking at like intercontinental missiles. And it doesn't necessarily have to be nuclear tipped. You could have intercontinental missiles that are non-nuclear, but those ones go up into orbit and they come down pretty fast. They're very, very hard to stop. But nonetheless, yeah. I mean, I wish the future of war was that we just didn't have war, but that's probably not gonna. It's probably not gonna happen. Scott says I'm on YouTube Premium. I don't see commercials. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Cindy said I have had that happen a few days last week. Can't hear you during the time, so I need to reverse. Oh, so they mute me. Those banana bread heads. Okay, okay. Lance, let's see. I think drones will level the playing field for a lot of countries. It doesn't matter how big and tough the world's biggest and toughest person is. Drone of bees will have him running. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, well, yeah, I mean, warfare is changing. It really is. Let's see. Split screen with commercial. You get muted. Audio for commercial audible. Oh, well, that sucks. That sucks. But oh well, at least you can. I guess at least you can still see me. If you can read lips, you're fine. But at the very least, you know what they should do? At the very least, they should put on the. They should like at least auto caption me when they're forcing a commercial on you. Holy banana bread. Ah boy. Lisa says hi everyone, and Scott is in the house. And yeah, thanks, Wahipple for sure. Samantha, hello all. I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday. Who else finally has some sunshine? Well, I see blue sky. I'm looking out the window. Yeah, there's blue sky here. A little bit of sun, I guess. I don't know what the temperature is outside today. I have not been outside, but you guys know if there is an excuse for me to check the weather network. Oh, it's 13. All right. 13. Last night it actually was pretty cold. Overnight we had a -3 wind chill, so it was chilly. All right, and I'm going to put myself back over here so you don't have to watch weather commercials. Afternoon, is Paul from Better Call Paul going to be on today? On what? I'm not sure. I have no clue what Paul from Better Call Paul. I have no idea what he's doing today. Yeah, no idea. I haven't talked to him actually since we did that little collab a little while ago. No love from the sun here today in the GTA. Let's see. Kelly, I am distracted today by the so-called presidential scheduled dental appointment. The conspiracy gang is out in full force. Absolutely. Well, actually, there's an interesting thing going on today. Carney is over in Europe. There's a big meeting, a big European meeting, and apparently, this is the first time a non-European country has been invited into this. So I don't know. I don't know a lot of details about it. I heard about it. I was like, what the heck is that? I've never even heard of it before. But yeah, so he's over there. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And Kelly, would the markets go up or down if the VP had to take over? Great question. Would they go up or down? I think they would probably go down initially until we sort of figured out what was going on. And I've been on YouTube and it's like I've been inundated by all kinds of stuff, and unfortunately, none of it's from very credible sources. So I've taken everything I've seen with a grain of salt. Because I also looked at it this way. Like, for example, I saw one headline that said, Trump passed out or fainted at a meeting. Well, if that happened, that would have been big news across everything. It really would have. You can't tell me that CNN would not report that if that happened. Of course they would. That would be the front page story. So there's a lot of salt taking. keep a salt shaker close right now. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of stuff. I hear stuff. I hear, there's a lot of stories about, dementia, but you got to also take in mind, and I don't want this to sound like a ground news promotion, but you got to look at where it's coming from. Um, the left will, of course, over exaggerate. The right will under exaggerate. So it's somewhere in the middle, but I just say take the whole thing with a grain of salt, guys. Just if it's not coming from, if something big happens, it will be on all of the all of the stuff, and especially if it's something like with in regards to Trump not being able to finish or Trump being sent away. Yeah, it's going to be big news. It'll be on everything. And I always look at it that way. If it's not showing up on all, if it's a huge story and it's not showing up on all of the major medias, it's probably either clickbait or just downright not very accurate. Hippo. Let's see. You're welcome, Scott. Happy to see a name that I see here a lot. Yeah, it's always good to see if somebody is here all the time and then they win. It's like, yeah, that's great. And what I also love is if it is somebody who lurks who wins. If it's a lurker, a lot of times they'll just come out and say hi and say thanks. And that's always cool too. All right, let's see. Rory says bees, wasp, ticks, skeeters. Yep, summer is fun in Canada. I don't mind the bees. Bees usually won't bug you, provided you're not being stupid. If if you respect them, bees are pretty cool. Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, never mind. You just backed me up right away. I should have read the next one before I started going off on a pro bee. And guys, funny is, as we mentioned this, Netflix has a new 2-part bee documentary. I watched it. It was actually pretty good. I actually learned some stuff. There was a few things in there about bees that I did not know. And I'm like, ooh. And I like to think that I am, that I've got the buzz on the bees, but maybe not all the buzz. Most of the buzz, though. Robert, I'm interested in the hybrid growth portfolio, but with current market conditions, would you go all in or dollar cost average 100K portfolio? Now, that's a great question. And that is really a fantastic question. And it's a hard question to answer because, well, it's hard and not hard. Why it's hard is that, I think we're going to get a green market. However, one of the things that does concern me is, all of the damage from the Strait of Hormuz being closed. It is cumulative. It's adding up. It is biting into world oil supply, and there are going to be impacts. Now, is that going to really impact the market? Well, it has to. It has to eventually. So I'm a little concerned about that. And I know that Iran had a new deal, or at least a proposal. Trump has started looking at it and says he doesn't think it's gonna fly. So it looks. One of the things that Trump said, which I thought was a little concerning, is that he feels like Iran hasn't felt enough pain yet. Basically, he equated it to 45 years of Iran being Iran, and that they need to pay for all of that. I'm kind of like, boy, that's a hornet's nest. That's a great way to keep something going that perhaps shouldn't keep going. So I'd like to see a resolution. But anyway, getting back to your question, honestly, at this point, if it were me, I probably would dollar cost average. So I probably would do it in such a way that, let's say I would probably set up a schedule to dollar cost average at least half, maybe more, maybe 75,000's worth. Have that set up as a dollar cost averaging across the equities that I'm interested, or the ETFs. Now I say 75 because I would keep about 25% in hold in case we got a big dip. And then if we got a big dip, I would take a look and see if there's something in there that's really looking good on sale. I might be buying the dip. Not necessarily 25,000 on all of it, but I would probably, buy a little bit, at least a little bit. Like maybe each dip throughout this process, maybe I would spend 5,000 or maybe I'd spend 7,500, but I would work it out. I would kind of spread it out that way. That way there, I'm getting the dip and I'm getting that certainty of dollar cost averaging, which is technically, it's usually the best way to actually invest when you're thinking about it. Now, when it comes to setting up a schedule for that, one of the considerations that I would take in is at least for the stocks. So for the ETFs that I'm looking at that have higher income, obviously the longer I'm sitting out, that's income that's not coming into my portfolio. So I would probably work that factor in a bit too. So if, for example, there were some stocks or ETFs that had really good income, so maybe I'm looking at, I don't know, like let's say I'm looking at HDIV, that might be one that I might heavy load it towards the beginning in a DCA, just because that way there I'm getting all of that income all the way through as well. So definitely many ways you can approach that. Niece is in the house with a hey all. Jonathan says it's pure rain in Halifax. Yeah, I saw a map, like a rainfall warning map. I think I saw that last night for most of Nova Scotia. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Sky, hi all, with YouTube Premium, no commercials, hell worth it. There you go. That's one way to save yourself from those commercials. Scott, YouTube you can download and watch offline too. Ooh, now I wonder, now Scott, you can't answer this because you've got YouTube Premium. Well, I guess I don't think, maybe you can't do that if you don't have YouTube Premium. So, all right, I don't have a question anymore on that. Is it a good time to get into healthcare stocks? Have they bottomed out? HHLE is down quite a bit. Okay, great question. I will say this. I like healthcare, and I think healthcare is one of those sectors that is going to do good. Have we bottomed completely? I think if we haven't, I think we're close. A lot of what I think we've seen, especially on the U.S. side, the whole reaction to, to RFK Jr., that has certainly helped pull healthcare down quite a bit. I think we're at that point that I can't see them gutting it any more than they already have. So I would say healthcare is probably going to rebound. And the other factor on that, and this is when you look at it from a longer viewpoint, boomers are getting older. That means they need more healthcare. And on the U.S. side, they're a group of people that can afford the healthcare. So, I think healthcare is a good investment. Let's see, premium. I doubt I could point to Armenia on a map, but I'm pretty good at that. That's a great question. Where is Armenia? I don't know where Armenia is either. Something makes me think it's not far from Turkey. But let's do it. Let's find out. Google. All right, let's go to Google Maps. Wait, there's Google Maps, but I want to go to Google Maps. All right, let's see if we can find. All right. Whoops. We're going to leave my house by Ottawa, and we're going to head to Armenia. Armenia. Where are you, Armenia? So let's see. I was thinking somewhere. Let's see here. There's Romania there. There's Turkey down here. So I was thinking it was in this vicinity, but I could be really wrong. Okay, let's type it in. Armenia. Armenia. All right, where is Armenia? Oh, it is. Yeah, right there. Look. I was saying close to Turkey. It borders Turkey. So right in here. Here it is. So it's a little bit, it's not that far from Turkey, a little bit close to the Black Sea, and you got Georgia and oh boy, Azerbaijan right in there. All right, cool. So yeah, here is Armenia right in there. Yes, that's where Carney is today. That's where Carney is today. So there we go. Now we know. We all now know where Armenia is. Matthew says, I absolutely love your videos and live feeds. It's incredibly interesting listening to you, to your talk. I learned so much from you. All right. Well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you. I do what I can. Scott says, I would guess it's near Turkey. There you go. There we go. We both did it. Rory says, I can't find Germany, Spain, Portugal, France. Or no, you can find. Okay, you can find the big ones. Well, now we all know where Armenia is. So, you know, it's what is this over here? I don't know what this body of water is. Oh, it's the Caspian Sea. All right. So there you go. If you get caught between the Caspian and a Black Sea, I was trying to find a way that I could make that into a rock and a hard place, but you know, well, I don't know. I've got nothing. I got nothing on that one. Oh boy. All right, let's go to Marin. Good afternoon, everyone. Hit the like button for the channel. Candace, what are your thoughts about Xanadu Quantum? All right, we'll get to Xanadu here in a moment. Yeah, guys, please definitely hit that like button. It certainly helps the channel out quite a bit. Let's head over to Xanadu. All right, so Xanadu. Now they have they IPO'd not that long ago. Now they're based out of Toronto, and oh boy, let's try this again. There we go. Oh, it was there. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's pull them up. So yeah, they IPO'd not that long ago. Quite literally, if we look at the 1 month, actually, yeah, 1 month, we can still see it. So yeah, they started trading here at the beginning of the month, and they've done really well. They've done really, really well. Now, normally, I will say, and this is where I kick my butt, I normally don't jump in on IPOs. Why? Because a lot of times the hype will send them up and send them down. But something happened that we weren't anticipating. There was a lot of interest that popped up in regards to quantum. So it helped punch a lot, you know, it helped pump up a few quantum stocks. Xanadu definitely in there as well. So I do like Xanadu. I really would love to see them come back down. Gosh, they're not going to come back down to $10. If they did, I would be scooping some up for sure. But I do like this company. I do like them. I think, I think they're going to do one of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to do well, or two, they're going to do well and somebody comes and buys them. That's probably the more likely down the road. So I do think this is going to be, I think this is a good play. I would still, oh gosh, I don't think I would get in at this level though, at 48. I would hope to see that if we can get a little bit of a cool down in quantum, and we probably will get that sometime this month. You might be able to get them a little lower. I was almost tempted to get in at 30. I didn't, but definitely if they drop below 30, I would certainly, I think I would get in at that point. All right. A says, will markets be down tomorrow? Non-energy as U.S. is delaying ending the war. Well, we'll have a better idea, of course, at the end of the stream when we get when the markets open for oil. We'll be able to see what's going on there. But I think right now, yeah, there's a little tiny bit of stuff going on. But I will say right now, I'm kind of thinking we may get a little bit of green tomorrow. It may at least start off green. Not to say it'll stay green, but I think it will start off green in the morning. Let's pour salt on all of it and you're good. You forgot Sweden. Yeah, come on, guys. Sweden. You guys, everybody knows where Sweden is. Norway and Finland. Yeah, those are like the three Nordish musketeers. There we go. Scott says we can point out those three-finger Nordic countries in Denmark. Svalbard in the Arctic Circle. Yeah, there's that island too. I think it's Norway's though. There is that island up in the up in the Arctic Circle that you can live there. You're allowed to live there. You just have to be able to support yourself. Um, I know I actually watched, I don't know, there's a girl that does a vlog from up there. I watched a couple of episodes of it. Let's see, Buffett still has 380 billion waiting to deploy. Well, I don't know if that's Buffett per se. I think that's Berkshire. But yeah, Warren Buffett, they had, of course, they had their meeting on the weekend. Greg Abel, gave his speech because he now does that. But there were some talks to Warren Buffett, and Warren. One of the things he said right now is he's saying that he's not ready. He doesn't think they're ready to deploy money right now, and they're looking at the market and they're feeling, and it's almost got a gambling feel to it that people are just willing to gamble right now on the market, and I think he's a little bit reserved on that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we will have to see what Warren Buffett's going to do. That's for sure. I think right now, uh, I think, and I thought here, I don't know if I still have it up, guys. Oh, I do, right here. Yeah, like right here. Buffett says investing environment not ideal. Sees gambling in the market. Oh my gosh, there was actually, yeah, right here. So right now they're almost 400 billion. That's what they were talking about. So that's Berkshire's report. So they've got about 400 billion in cash just sitting there. Whoops. Let's see here. Oh, it's not highlighting it nice and bright. Okay. Well, anyway, it's there, guys. In Margaritaville. There we go. Oh, that's Warren, not Jimmy. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Jimmy Buffett who has the Margaritaville. But Warren looks like he probably would enjoy a margarita. I'm just saying. Maybe he wouldn't, but he looks like he might. Doorpat is in with a hey all. Let's see. He's got a lot of trucks bootlegging the alcohol in. There we go. Running Shine. Smokey and the Bandit. Watch the Bear. Azure by January. Let's see. World trade opportunity with Armenia, is it? Yeah, there we go. It's actually interesting. There's been a lot of things I've seen. Like some of the bigger, one of the big rumors that has been sort of floating around is that Canada is possibly looking to join the EU. That would be interesting, that's for sure. But once again, take it with a grain of salt. But I can definitely see Canada, basically diversifying a lot of our trade opportunities with the EU. And that, to me, that makes sense. That makes sense for sure. Geography 101 this Sunday. Yeah, have you ever played that game? What is it? Geo Search or whatever, something like that. Basically, it drops you somewhere in the world, and you're in a Google Map like thing, and you got to figure out where you are. That can be fun. That can be fun. Rory says, where is Ottawa? In debt? Well, Canada's been in debt for a while. Matthew says, I bought 2 Xanadu stock at around 45. I'm waiting until the fall to see if the shares get diluted. And if they get diluted, I'm dumping 1,200 at least on them. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I definitely want to see shares come down a little bit. Where is Edmonton? Out of the playoffs. Oh boy. I'll tell you, I'm a little worried for Montreal tonight. A little bit worried because Tampa's going to come into that with a lot of momentum. So if Montreal can calm them down, they got a good chance. But they got to calm. That's the first priority for this evening. Montreal calms Tampa Bay down because we don't want lightning striking twice. Let's see. Rory says too far. Rory making a play for Scott's laughing goat. I know, but nobody has pulled the laughing goat out yet. I gotta laugh. Goat goals. Yeah, absolutely. It was actually funny, guys. I was watching a guy give a tour of his animal sanctuary, and he had goats. And when he got to the goat part, He was just mentioning how when he used to pet them, his hand would come away smelling like goat pee. And apparently, his goats like to pee on their beards. Don't ask me how. I don't know how. I don't even want to know how. But I was just like, okay, well, we have clean goats. Our goats on the channel are clean goats. Um, Rory says, I've never won a goat yet. Oh, well, Rory, you just got to be funny. Sorry, that was almost a burn. I wasn't meaning it as a burn, but oh boy. A boss says Calgary golf courses covered in flames. Yep, I can imagine. Well, all of the Canadian golf courses, other than Montreal right now, but Montreal better not drop the ball tonight. Don't forget to give the channel a thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. A thumbs up, a thumbs up. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Yeah, Mary's not here, so let me take a look. Let's see where we are with the likes. Niece will be the unofficial Mary for a moment. And let's see, we're at 29. So, guys, I'm going to have some coffee here while you guys are hitting that like button. Let's push that up to 50 really fast. Oh, whew, that's so good. Scott says Matt Sundin joining the Leafs front office. Boss says Leafs and Titanic both look great until they hit the ice. Oh boy. Oh, that was close. That was close to the laughing goat. He's looking for a cottage in Muskoka. Let's see. Marner is feeling hunky-dory right now. Have you checked out BTQ before? BTQ is building quantum-proof encryption for blockchain. If they solve it and crypto grows, they could be important, early and risky, but worth watching. I'm pretty sure we looked at that once, but maybe not. Let me just, whoops, let's take a quick look here. BTQ. There we go. BTQ Technologies. So right now they're not worth much. Right now, $2.88. But they actually were up on Friday. They were up 1.05. All right, let's just take a look down here. So yeah, quantum technology, accelerating. Let's look here. Deep technical, full stack, neutral atom, quantum computing platform. Okay, middleware, post-secondary security solutions. All right, I like that. I like that. And I think companies like this, they have a pretty good chance. Now, mind you, I don't know how long they've been around, not very long, and they have. Here's one of those IPO things, guys, that I talk about. This is what happens a lot. This is kind of why I didn't get into Xanadu's, because a lot of times they will do this and then they will settle down and then we'll sort of figure out. Now this company here has really come back down quite a bit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. This is something I would say more or less put them on the watch list type thing. If you're going to get in, this may not be a bad spot. It may not be a bad spot, but take it with a grain of salt. Watch them. Don't come in without expectations for sure. But there is that potential. There's definitely that potential for sure. Let's see. How much is 400 billion for Berkshire? Is it 10% of their portfolio? 20%? That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, actually, it's a very easy question to answer. Let's just go to Berkshire. All you got to really do here is, whoops, that's not what you want to do. We need to go to Berkshire again because I clicked on the CDR. Oh, sorry. BRK, Berkshire. Here we go. Perfect. So how much are they worth? All right. Well, here's their market cap right here. They're basically worth $1 trillion. So 400 billion. I would say that would be a little more than a third. A little more of that's actually quite a bit if you think about it. Because yeah, their market class itself is 1 trillion, so that's a fair amount. That's a fair amount for sure. Let's see, Scott. Marner scored more in Game 6 of the Knights than all playoff games in 10 years with the Leafs. Okay. Let's see. Do you think about TELUS and its upcoming CEO? Or oh, sorry. What do you think? Yeah. Do you think about them? No, I don't think a lot about TELUS. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think hopefully, I'd like to see this new CEO come in and look at that dividend and say, okay, let's cut the dividend. So I think they need to cut that dividend. That's kind of the first step. And we'll go from there. We'll go from there. But I'm hoping the new CEO, I'm hoping that they sort of look at it and say, all right, let's do that. Let's, because, it's not sustainable right now. And right now you want to preserve some cash flow. You also want to look at your diversification. You got data centers and, you guys brought up telehealth as well. So those certainly should be a bit of I think a bit of a priority. Canada won't be joining the EU because it would be giving up rights power. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I don't think Canada will actually do it. But I just sort of point out that you can hear a lot of rumors floating around, but I don't think Canada would do it. Now, can we strengthen our ties with them? Yeah, we can do that without joining them, of course. Jonathan, what does Xanadu do, or are they just doo-doo? Xanadu. So actually here, let's actually pull up the site for you. They do make chips. All right, Xanadu Quantum. Here we go. Let's see here. All right, Toronto, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, yeah, let's pull up their website. So chip-resistant error photonic qubits. So yeah, we're talking quantum computing once again. Yeah, they make qubits. I haven't looked super deep into the stuff that they're doing. I did once watch, I think I watched a YouTube video on them a while back, and everything, what they're doing looks pretty promising. And part of it comes down to, one of the big things in quantum is being able to put a whole bunch of qubits on a circuit while making sure that your error correction, because right now qubits can sometimes there can be errors because you're dealing with it's a completely different beast than your binary on-off bits and bytes. Well, bytes is just a bunch of bits. So yeah, getting the errors down to to be, basically to become negligible. That's kind of one of the big things. And I think they've been working in that direction, that lane. So, things are looking pretty positive for them. But yeah, they are, like I said, they are quantum. They're making qubits. All right. Boss says if Canada joined the EU, it would finish us. Brits left because of the fees they have to pay into the EU. Yeah, I would agree. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Bismarcky, Bismarck says, ever try curry goat? No. Scott is recycling Leafs jokes. Wow. I always thought that the Leafs jokes, yeah, they're not hard to recycle because, you could, let's see, Roy, it is really sad actually, like the last Leaf season. Oh boy. There's a game 7 tonight involving Toronto. Let's go Raptors. Yes. Yeah, the Raptors. It'd be nice to see them move a little bit further. I don't watch basketball at all, but I still want to see them win. Tall asks for the Raps. I hope they break Cleveland curse. All right. Paul is back. It must be break time. Welcome, Paul. Welcome. Quick, have a snack before you have to go back on the floor. Ian says 400 billion out of a trillion would be 40%. Well, there you go. It's slightly more than a trillion, but are we sure Berkshire is sitting on 400 billion in cash? Not 400 billion, almost 400 billion. So it's probably like about 380 billion, roughly. Excuse me. Prairie. says, I think the new TELUS CEO would do better turning the company around than just cutting the dividend. BCE is still struggling. Yeah, no, there's a lot that has to be done. I just think the dividend is one step. It's like, get rid of that bleeding there. You're bleeding money out to investors, but at the same time, stop that. And there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. Absolutely, 100%. Jordan is in the house. Good evening, Candace. That's partly between afternoon and evening, a pre-evening, if you will. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm good. Good pre-evening. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Because, right now it is, what is it? Oh, it's 4:45. Okay. Let's see. A trillion is 1,000 billion, not 100 billion. Yeah. Trillion is 1,000 billion. Exactly. What do you do when the Leafs win the cup? Turn the PlayStation off and go to bed. All right. Yeah, that is. Oh God, that's so bad. But it did make me laugh. All right. If this is going to stop the Leaf jokes, Ian, you get the laughing goat. You get the laughing goat. All right. Oh boy. Oh, what can I say? $100 trillion puts finger in mouth and smirks. Paul said, did my super chat go through before the stream started? It did. And, Paul, here. Since you're here, I will replay that Monopoly goat. We certainly went through. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now, where the banana bread was I? Right over here. Lance, I believe Xanadu is working on solving an issue using photons instead of electrons and error resistance. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. It's all about getting the error down. You want to get, you're going to have errors, but you want it to be such a low number that it's really not very significant. Boss says the CRTC ruling made it harder on all phone companies. 100%. Yeah. But you know what? I have to agree with the CRTC. Those were dumb fees. Because basically, you add, if I come to your network and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring my phone into your network here and I'm going to pay you monthly. And they're going to say, okay, well, here's a fee to hook you up. I'm like, what? Why? I think those fees, because they got rid of activation fees, cancellation fees. Those were crazy. They kept going up too. Sure, those companies, the telecoms made a lot of money from them, but I'll tell you, they already have really high rates. So if you look at it from just a regular Canadian's viewpoint, I think a lot of people are probably cheering that move. Let's see, Buck. I was going to say Buck. Berkshire should use some of that cash and buy some HHIS. There we go. Honestly, I don't even know if if Warren Buffett would be aware of HHIS. Being that it's in Canada. Let's see, Rory, your dad Scott. Let's see here. Claudia. Hello, everyone from beautiful Burnaby, 22 Celsius. Kooks, radishes. Or kooks, kukes, not kooks. Kukes, radishes, peppers, herbs, and flowers growing like crazy on my balcony. Nice. I don't actually have a balcony. Let's see. 400 out of 1,000 is 40%, or am I missing something? No, it is. It is. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Rory misses out again. If the Leafs win the cup, sell the team to Trump. Okay. Well, that word. Rory says, that's it. Unsubscribed. No, come back, Rory. You were the linchpin holding the 11,000 here. Let's see. It's like Canoe. Missed it again. And let's see. 25 degrees Celsius in Coquitlam at work. Nice. And it's 13 here in Ottawa. 13. Uh, and it may actually even go down. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Nah, what can I say? I don't know. Holy cow. Oh, there was something I wanted to say. Let's head over to Blossom here for a moment. The next video, by the way, guys, the next video is the 0 to 100K challenge. I do have it all updated over here on the Blossom. So I'm just gonna pull up the main thing here. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Carlos. Okay, I've never heard of Carlos. What was I gonna say with Blossom? Oh, right, guys. If you want me to review your portfolio, you just got to set up a time with me to let me know when. And it's got to be uploaded to Blossom because that's where I will do it. I don't mind doing it. I normally will do it on a Sunday. Somebody had asked me, I don't know if was it Ian? Somebody had asked me if I would do it not that long ago, and I said, just let me know. Guys, message me over here, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. We'll get it all set up for you. And in fact, guys, if you're not already on Blossom, let's just put this on in here. Let's drop it. Uh-oh. It's not one Blossom, it's exclamation Blossom. There we go. Yeah, if you guys are not yet on Blossom, just use this link, sign up over there on Blossom. If you want me to look at your portfolio, you want to either manually enter your, and that's what I do because Blossom doesn't have the APIs for National Bank, so I have to manually do it. Right now, it is updated for the 0 to 100K challenge, so right now it is completely up to date. Now, when you do hook it up, I'm going to point out right now you see dollar values here. Ignore the dollar values because quite honestly, you're not gonna you're the only one who can see your own dollar values. Anybody else who looks at this, they're not going to see these dollar values. They're going to see percentages. So kind of like, and well, here quite literally, watch. I'll just come over here, and I'm going to pick on somebody. Who am I going to pick on? Normally there's a Brandon sitting there because I know what? Oh, I was going to say, did we have Donald Trump over here? Dear Banana Bread. Here, let me just pull this up here, guys. I want, now we'll pick on Max. We'll pick on Max. Max won't mind. So here we go. If we pick on Max, we'll go to his thing. You'll see here. So, what he holds, it's all in percentages. So that's what anybody else will see. You're the only one who will see the dollar values. So, I mean, if you really want people to see the dollar values, you could always take a screenshot and upload it as an image. I mean, there is ways around it. But anyway, guys, yeah, definitely hook up to me on Blossom. I'll follow you right back. I follow everybody who follows me, apparently, except for Fausto. But there, I've just fixed that. I fixed that. Oh, and Raghavendra. There we go. Perfect. All right, I'm up to date. I've got everybody followed back for now. Awesome. All right. Oh boy, let's see here. Oh, as I was going off on Blossom, a whole bunch of comments flooded in. Trump tried to buy the Buffalo Bills. Thank God the NFL said no. Did he really try to buy the Buffalo Bills? Yikes. Paul, imagine how triggered the Liberals would be if Trump bought the Leafs and Trump kept the team in Toronto. Yeah. Well, you get new hats out of it. So what would it be? Make Toronto great again, MTGO? Who's to say? Let's see. Lance, the other quantum stock I have, is entering beta testing. I'm hoping for some good news very soon. They have a great team and a lot going for them. Still big hurdles to overcome in the quantum world. Yeah, there is. But a lot of progress has been made in the last year. Like a lot of progress, especially with getting multiple qubits. And obviously, we also got we have a way of one quantum chip, the Willow chip that came from Google. So We're getting pretty far ahead, and I'm actually much more optimistic about quantum computing now than any time in the past. 13 degrees Celsius and rainy and not at work. There we go. Ian says, I sold my bond ETFs and bought Canoe recently. Did not even try to time the market. Okay. Yeah, Canoe, exactly, boss. Canoe is so reliable. Too bad it doesn't increase the div. I know. Everybody here, we'll have to have a celebration if they ever do bump it up to like even, you know what? Don't even go to 11 cents. Just for now, I'd be happy if you bumped it up to 10.1. I would, give me a tenth of a penny. Balmy 21C here in Winter Peg. I'd like to add to bank this week. Nice. All right, let's see. Nice here to low 20s. Trump would be more likely to buy the Habs and force them to speak English. Oh boy. That would, yeah. Oh gosh. Well, there is the one scenario where I would actually consider not cheering for the Habs. Let's see. Nope, only 17 here. Ian says, I'm painting a bedroom in the basement. Color is called Flock of Ducks. Anyone guess the color? Oh boy. A flock of ducks. Flock of ducks. All right, it could be. I'm thinking of a couple things. So you know how on a male duck, you got that green, that really kind of it's a very vivid light green on the neck. That's one possibility. But with a flock of ducks, they're in the air, so maybe it's kind of a bluish color, or maybe a bit of a white, kind of an off-white, like, to show them coming off a lake. Ah, gosh. Ah. I'm going to stick with the green. You know what? I'm going to stick. It's not the green, though. I know it's not. Oh, gosh. All right. Boy, now I'm kind of curious. Let's see, Claudia. I did update my portfolio, and when I disconnected from Wealthsimple, it deleted all info. I do not like to stay connected 24/7. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Ian says you can check out my Blossom portfolio if you want. Just hit some milestones. Oh, milestones are good. Actually, I can hit your portfolio really easy because you're right here. Because you sent me that thing. There we go. Here's Ian, guys. We'll take a quick look. We'll take a quick look. Why not? All right. So here we go. Ooh, look at this. There's a portfolio. $1 million. Ian is now officially a millionaire. So there's that. That's not too shabby. All right, let's take a look, see what we got here. All right, one thing I like right away. I'm not even looking at any single stocks in here. These numbers, look at them. That's pretty good diversification. Pretty good diversification. So Ian has got things spread. I like that. I like that. All right, now let's take a look. So up here at the top, we got bank. You can't fault bank. Bank's been doing fantastic. So you're getting your financial sector exposure. You're getting some reliable income, and they have done absolutely. The last year, bank has been absolutely cool. All right, we got the VTI, so that's your Vanguard total stock market. So that's broad exposure across the board. Okay, and then we got more. Okay, so Utes is bringing in your utilities, and it is aggressive, but you're gonna get some pretty good income out of it. And I do know that Ian lives off of his income, so that makes sense. Let's see. H yield looking good. Once again, this is one of these ones. I like H yield quite a bit. It's a very good U.S. ETF. You get some half decent. You got half decent dividends coming from it. You got a little bit of leverage in there as well. All right. EIT. Whoops, I did not mean to click on EIT. Yeah, we just sort of talked about EIT. EIT is kind of like reliable. It can't really go wrong. So yeah, I love EIT. Ichi's been doing pretty darn good. So another one that I like a lot. So that's of course the new 9-point enhanced Canadian. So love it, love it. All right, SPYI. All right, interesting play for sure. I It's not one that I would choose, but I think it still works in Ian's portfolio. All right, ENCL. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're going to get some good income, and as oil goes up, so will ENCL. So not too bad. Ooh, QCN. We got a McKenzie. You don't see McKenzie that often, but they do make some pretty good ETFs. And this here is their Canadian equity, so definitely an interesting play. Ooh, ZEA. So this here is your emerging markets. So emerging markets, I love it. Power Corporation of Canada. All right, all right. Let's see what else we got down here. All right, we're almost down here. We got, okay, the Goldman Sachs ETF Trust. All right, not too shabby. Let's see. Ooh, of course, I love diversified royalty. And this one's nice because you're getting half decent dividends for it. Whitecap Resources, okay. And then we got Scotiabank. All right, all right. And Armax. um, I Armax has been disappointing, but I still like it. The thing I like about it is you're getting 50% US and 50% Canadian when it comes to REIT exposure. So I am in the green with Armax, so I still like it. I still like it. I sure wish it would have done better, but REITs have kind of been disappointing in the last year. Whoops. Did not mean to click on that. This is another emerging markets. So let me just pull that back here. Whoops. Whoa, what happened? New portfolio milestone. Oh, there's the 1 million. Okay. Oh, I went too far back. There. I went down. I was like, where is things? Okay. All right, we were at Armax. Okay, yeah, the EEMV. So that's an iShares emerging market, and I like iShares. And gold mini shares, so GLDM, so getting a little bit of extra gold exposure. So yeah, this is not too bad. This is pretty well diversified. We are getting exposure across a lot of different sectors. That's what I like. I like to see that, and we're seeing that here. All right, now, let's see here. How did I end up at Maxis? Oh, I probably went too far. Let me just go forward one more. There we go. And then, of course, this here is the 1 million. Ian hitting that $1 million in investment. That's a great place to be. That is a great place to be. So yeah, congratulations on that, Ian. That's really, really good. All right. Rory says, Ian, polar bear in a snowstorm is easier. There we go. Yellow green. That's the green I'm talking about. See, me and Samantha are both thinking the same thing here. Let's see. Yellow green would make sense, but no. Oh no. Make Leafs great again. MLGA. Gray. Let's see. This is a distribution week for a lot of covered call ETFs. And here we go. Okay, so it is a gray. All right. So that I was thinking like that white color, but off, and that's kind of the color I was thinking of. I just didn't call it the right thing. But I did narrow it down to the green, so I am wrong. Boss, Trump will buy anything. Whether it survives his management is another story. He must hold the world record for the most bankruptcies. Yes, and oh God, I heard another story, guys. Apparently, Amazon is thinking about bringing back The Apprentice. Yeah, but not with Donald Trump, but with Donald Trump Jr. instead. I was just like, oh, please don't let this be a real story. Please don't let this be real. Oh, boy. Claudia is in there with the hands, a lot of hands. Good afternoon, everyone, says Brian. Welcome, Brian. Let's see. My renter said she wanted gray. I thought it might look like a dungeon, but I went with it anyway. Yeah, well, at least your renter didn't ask for black. I've seen somebody make their room black. Yeah. Funnier it was funnier if it was called Flock of Seagulls for us people in the 1980s music. Yeah, there we go. I looked it up. It's a nice deep gray. Way to go, Ian. Yeah, Ian, guys, Ian has $1 million in investments. So congratulations, Ian. Once again, Scott says maybe dungeon is what she was going for. Does she own any handcuffs or whips? Oh boy. Let's see. Thanks, Biz. All right. Let's see. I went with Flock of Ducks mostly because I thought the name was funny. Um, I like it. It's like, it's, and technically you can have a very organized flock of ducks. That's what's called having your ducks in a row. Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, look at mine for less diversification. Oh boy. All right, Paul. We'll do it. We'll do it. All right, let's pull this up here. At Paul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here we go. Paul, right here. There's Paul. All right, so less diversification, guys. Of course. No boy. And I think you guys know, oh man, there's actually more here than I thought. I will say that. Um, you guys hear Paul telling us what's happening in his portfolio a lot. So I think most of these will come as no surprises. At the top of the heap, Tesla, 67.3%. Holy banana bread. I actually would have thought, I actually would have thought it was a little lower than that. But yeah, let's see. We got the Harvest Palantir Enhanced at 9.4, YTSL 9.2, so more Tesla exposure. MSTE at 4.3. You got the Harvest Circle Enhanced at 2.5, Micron at 2.2. Here's your Echo Star in here at 1.8, Bitwise at 1.5, Intuitive Surgical, you mentioned that the other day, 0.5, and then we got Q-Day at 0.2, Bank at 0.2, C-Day at 0.2, Ichi at 0.2, Tesla, the CDR, more Tesla. Paul, I think you need more Tesla. It reminds me of the more cowbell skit there with Christopher Walken on Saturday Night Live. QMVP, I love the Hamilton champions. They're good. Let's see. We got some more Palantir. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. All right. I got to click back in here. All right, more Palantir. We got NVIDIA CDR, some Amazon, and some Broadcom. Well, we got very, very little Broadcom. So little it's like 0.0. Yeah, obviously, though. And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with Paul. So normally if I looked at this, if you were a long-term investor and I looked at this, I would be like, gosh darn it, have you heard of diversification? And you could argue, well, yeah, it's diversified. I'm just very heavy on Tesla. But Paul does trade a little bit. And these numbers are going to shift around as Paul gets opportunities. So I know things are going to move. Tesla right now at 67.3. If he gets a good selling point, that'll probably drop significantly, and then Palantir might pop up, or or maybe NVIDIA, maybe somebody else, or maybe maybe Strike. We'll have to see, or sorry, STRC. There's a lot of movement, I think, in Paul's portfolio for sure. But yeah, that's all there is to it, guys. Let's see. There's a joke in there, but I can't say anything. Ichi is a new addition to my portfolio. Barely got any dividends from it yet. Okay, fair enough. There we go. Wealthsimple uses Mackenzie in managed portfolio. Oh, nice. Nice. I mean, I like Mackenzie. Mackenzie is fine. Let's see here. Ian says, I have SPYI in my RRSP. I just wanted exposure to the S&P. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Matthew says, Blossom is awesome. Know what I mean, Vern? There we go. Going back to, oh gosh, what the heck was his name? Ernest? Ian says, Amazon bringing back The Apprentice would only make sense if they wanted to gain favor with Trump. That's probably what it is. I would not be surprised. I don't think it's their idea. I will just say that. You can bet that that is the purpose. Yep, I would agree. I would agree. Yep, more cowbell. Why do cows wear bells? Because their horns don't work. Oh boy, is this killing you, Rocky Balboa? Ah, yeah, that's actually sounds like a Rocky Balboa type joke. Um, you almost got me to drop the laughing goat again though, but you know, I just could I just cow I couldn't. Let's see, Scott. I only have my non-registered in Blossom because the rest is mutual funds on the U.S. indexes and international dividends. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It makes sense. What can I say? Ah. Oh gosh. All right. Let's check the. I want to check the subs. I don't want to check the subs. I want to check the likes. I'll just refresh this up. I know I gave you guys a goal of 50 a long time ago. Now we're at 45. Okay, we're close. We're close. Yeah. Oh, we can still get there. We can still get there. Oh, guys, I wanted to pull up for a moment. Bitcoin. So I had a slightly different. We had this little. Actually, we had a little bit of a wedge in here the other day. But it looks like Bitcoin has sort of moved into a bit of a channel right now. So, you know, right now we're at the top of this channel. So we'll see if it bounces down, comes in. I think it'll break out sooner than later. I'd love to see it break to the upside. I'd love to see Bitcoin above 80,000 again. But at the same time, I think Gary Gill is hoping it breaks down. I think Gary Gill has been hoping for Bitcoin to have a bit of a crash. So, and you guys might be like, well, wait a minute, he has all that MSTE. But yeah, I mean, you know, the MST will be fine. It'll just, you know, it'll still be fine. We'll leave it that way. Don Rickles. Now that guy was funny. I remember him. I just don't remember him a lot. I don't remember him a lot, but what can I say? Angel says, good afternoon, Candace. What's going down? Right now, no, nothing really. We're just, you know, it's a cool afternoon. I think now is next Sunday Mother's Day. I think it might be. So if you got mums, if any of you have mums that are still alive and kicking, don't forget to do something for Mother's Day. Mums get really annoyed if you forget. Let's see. Boss says most references to horns not working say watch for a finger. Rickles was a hockey puck. That is familiar. I think did he have a stand-up comedy routine about that, about a hockey puck or something? I feel like it. I feel like it. TT3. I'd love to pick up more MSTE sub $3. Oh yeah, absolutely. You and me both. You and me both. Let's see, Brian. I wanted more MSTE. I was hoping under 350 at some point. Even under 350, not bad. I mean, and quite literally, even right now, if it's under $4, it's not that bad. You know, once Bitcoin does, you know, whether Bitcoin does the 4-year cycle, which a lot of people are saying, 4-year cycle. I don't subscribe to it. I think the 4-year cycle is done. But if it goes down, if that were to happen and Bitcoin were to actually go down to 30,000 or 32,000, yeah, I would jump on it. So, for sure, that's what I would do. All right. Let's see, Ian, when do the oil futures open for trading again? Good question. Now I know that we do get trading on oil at 6 o'clock. So basically in about 47 minutes, we'll be able to see it. I don't know about the futures itself. I don't pay a ton of attention to the futures unless I'm usually when I'm if I'm day trading, I will look at especially if I'm day trading something like HOD. I'm going to have the futures there. I'm going to be watching what the futures is doing. I'm going to be watching what oil is doing. all of that fun stuff. That's why it's great to have multiple monitors. Bitcoin may drop in the not too distant future. Will you DCA MSTE if you have it already? Yes, I will actually. Yeah, anytime it drops, like, you know, I'm right now I'm kind of resigned in the 0 to 100K challenge. If MSTE, if it's under $4, I'll probably add another 10 in the challenge each time it does. So far it hasn't done that in May, but there's lots of May left. Brian says I'd take it under 3, TTT3. All right, Angelo says, by the way, Candace, it's Angelo, not Angel. I'm tired of MSTE staying down. People had plenty of time to get it cheap. Time for it to recover already. All right, fair enough. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But I still thought, we had the time for one more Bitcoin pump. I would certainly like to see it happen, but we'll see, I guess. Boss says, wondering what Brookfield wants in Armenia since their biggest promoter is there. Oh boy. Now I will say he was invited. It wasn't so much that maybe he said, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you invited me? Maybe he said that. I don't know. Let's see. My average cost is $4.30. That's not too shabby. Scott says, Rickles was an insult comic. Triumph, the insult comic dog, is funnier. So was Ed the Sock. Oh, yes, Ed the Sock. I remember. I remember Ed the Sock. And yeah, Triumph, the insult comic dog. Angelo says, my average for MSTE is somewhere around 13 to 14. Oh, boy. All right, I can see why you want it to go up big time. Let's see. Since others asked the same question about MSTE, I will ask about ENCC. When oil spikes up, it always has a big drawdown. Does ENCC or ENCL interest you? Yeah, I like ENCL. So I have ENCL in the challenge. So it's actually interesting. I made a big move, and you'll learn about this in the next video, but in a nutshell, I sold off one of my major oil stocks, pretty much at an all-time high. And that was just before the whole ceasefire thing started, and the price of oil came crashing down. And I basically just ended up buying, like, a lot of the profits there went into ENCL. So, I pumped up ENCL, and then ENCL came back up because oil, of course, came back up. So it was very good for the challenge, that whole thing. But yeah, no, I am a fan of ENCL. Let's see. We need Rickles to roast Trump. But it's dangerous to roast Trump. He gets vindictive. If you were to roast Trump, you could actually end up in a situation where he files legal charges against you or orders the FBI to arrest you on some kind of weird bogus. I don't know. Let's see. Have you ever traveled internationally? Do you like living in Canada? All right, great question. So, I've never been outside of North America. I've been coast to coast in Canada. I've spent a little bit of time in Florida. I visited Alabama. So, a little bit of the States. Do I like living in Canada? I like Canada. I think it's a great country. I like the people. I like the geography. I mean, I'm not super keen on winter, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Now, do I like the government? That's another question. You see, this is where things will end up. I like if the government isn't in the news that much. I like them more when I don't hear about them. But yeah, I will say this. When it comes to the government, so I mean, politically, I'm slightly on the right. I am what you would call a small C conservative. So I like the government when they moderate a little bit. I don't like the government to go too far left. I don't like the government to go too far right. Um, so yeah, I like the current government better than the Trudeau government by a lot. Um, is it the perfect government? Nah, we'll never have the perfect government. And I think there's a lot of reform that could certainly happen to government overall that might make me like it a little bit more. But I have a feeling that everybody complains about their government. I mean, if you were living in the States right now, I bet you're complaining about your government a lot. Um, unless you happen to be MAGA, maybe. And even then, even the MAGA are starting to splinter a little bit and complaining about the government. So, um, but yeah, now internationally, I have not had the opportunity. My family background, my family comes originally from Ireland, so I would love to get over there. I'd love to visit. I'd love to visit. Well, I'd love to visit Australia. Definitely parts of Asia, um, and of course, a lot of Europe. I'd love to have that opportunity. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen. But nonetheless, yeah, yeah, I'm okay. I do like living in Canada. I will give it that. I'm Canadian. I'm proud to be Canadian for sure. Let's see. Scott says, Trump roast. Yep. He's certainly got enough of it to roast. Oh boy, did I say that out loud? ENCL was very close to my biggest holding before oil dipped. At one point, it was way down. Sorry, I was way down on it, so I took some profits. I think I bought ECHI with the proceeds. Okay, fair enough. Angela says, thanks, Candace. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. No, that's okay. It's all right. Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about it. I was just thinking, like, I hadn't really been thinking about it. So, let's see. Reading my message, it sounds confusing. I was down on ENCL in January, so when it pumped up in April, I sold around a third of it. Oh, okay. Lance says, are my comments being deleted? I hope not. I hope not. But maybe. Let me see. What was your last comment, Lance? I'm going to take a quick look here and see. Oh boy. Well, maybe they're being deleted, Lance, because I am scrolling back and I don't see any Lance comments. And I'm already back to 458. So if you've been commenting anything lately, yes, YouTube is deleting you. But why? I don't know. Were you trying to share a link, maybe? Yeah, like there's quite holy banana bread, Lance. I don't see. Yeah, the last one I see from you is at 450, talking about the other quantum stock, the one that was in beta testing. So since then, I have not seen a single comment from you. So if you want to repost, if there's any kind of a link in there or anything with a dot, just remove the dot. Just, space things out if you have to. Jonathan says, my family is also Irish descent. I got my Irish citizenship a few years back by proving my grandfather was born in Dublin. Nice. There you go. Very cool. Yeah, like Ireland has that rule. Like if you can prove your ancestry, they'll give you a citizenship. Interestingly enough, they do the same thing now in Canada. So if you can show, you have to be able to trace. And they don't have a limit. Like it doesn't even. It can be, it could be your great grandfather. If you can prove that you're from Canadian heritage, they'll let you. I don't know if it's like they'll give you a visa and you can start the process of becoming a Canadian, but it's pretty cool. Let's see. Angela wants to know, Lance, are you a Filipino Canadian? Good question. I don't know. I've never asked Lance where his heritage is from. Let's see, boss. I prefer Canada. Before 2015, we had an actual economy. People were working and things were much better. Oh yeah. Yeah. Canada was nice back in the old days, for sure. Luke says gas is still above $2 a liter in Victoria, BC. Seems inevitable that the economy will stall with expensive gas. And the reality is, gas may get more expensive. Like the strait's not open. Um, yeah, there's the potential that gas can get a lot more expensive. If you have an option to work from home, I would take it. I would take it. Let's see. Gas. Angelo says gas is 191 here, nearing $2. Yikes. And TT3, I got a 2 to 3 year horizon for Canadian oil and gas. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Canada will make money off of energy, of course, we get into um, as we get into the energy crisis that's being created. It's really going to boil down to, though, can we get out of this? If we can get out of this before the summer, there's still going to be a lot of damage, but we can at least get a trickle moving pretty quickly. If this goes beyond the summer and and we get into the fall and we still got the strait closed, oh boy, it could get bad. Let's see, Scott. Most places are $1.80-ish, but the Esso at Highway 10 and Old School was $1.66. Oh, nice. Luke says Arc Resources was my largest holding. Thinking of selling now for good profit. Is there a good reason to hold longer? You know what? You may not. They may actually pull back a little bit after the whole hype of them being purchased by Shell. So yeah, I would probably take it about now myself as well, Luke. Brian says my ancestry is found on a special sauce, Heinz 57, part Swiss, part German, part Italian, and a huge branch of French in the family tree. Okay, there you go. You've got a good mixture in there. Let's see. Angelo says, yeah, Canada lately is crap. I left in 2023 for the Philippines and didn't have plans on coming back anytime soon. Stayed away for 2 years, not long enough. All right, there we go. I've heard that the Philippines is actually not a bad place to live. Boss says supply and demand, free market economy. But thank God my ETFs allowed me to live. Oh, nice. Unfortunately, I'm not able to work from home. However, it would be a 20-minute walk each way. Well, that's not that bad, at least in the summer, right? As long as your knees are good. Lance says, no, I'm not. I have a mix of Native American, Portuguese, Scottish, Irish, Greek, Mongolian, and other. All right, there we go. Let's see. Nice, my bad. I was way off. That's why I never try to guess. I'm always off. There's few things I won't guess. I won't guess how much someone weighs. I won't guess how old they are, unless they ask. If they ask, I'll give a guess. But I will say right off the top, I am bad at this. Ancestry. Yeah, I'm not gonna guess. I'm just gonna. If somebody wants me to know where they're from, they're going to tell me, or where their relatives or their ancestors are from. Eventually, if you trace everybody's ancestors back far enough, we all end up in the same place anyway, so who cares? Okay, my Blossom comment is being deleted. I did not see your Blossom comment. Did you put a link in it? That might have done it. That might have done it. So yeah, don't put links, or if you're trying to put a link, you could put the name of it. Just don't put the .com or anything like that. You could always in brackets, just say, com if you want, or org or any of that. Angelo says, I think it's funny when I guess someone's age correctly and they still get mad. Yeah. Well, that's because you know what? Some people think they look younger than they are. So if you guess it right, that's it's kind of them going, wait a minute, no, I look younger than I am. You should have guessed younger. So, some people get that way. TT3, I'm part Neanderthal. You probably are. I think a lot of us, I think there's because one of the things is that, so early humans and Neanderthals, they mixed quite a bit. So yeah, I think I saw something that said most Caucasians have a good amount of Neanderthal in them. But you know, I think we probably all have a little bit to some degree or another. Lancer 124569. Is that that's your blossom? All right. You want me to look at? I think you want me to look at it. All right. Let's. I can do that. Let's just pull this all in. Lancer and 569. Here we go. There's Lancer. And here we go. Boom, bang. So this is Lance. Oh my gosh, Lance only has 2 followers, guys. If you happen to see Lance on Blossom, just throw him a follow. Here we go. All right, let's take a look and see what we got in here. All right, first of all, just do a quick little, oh boy, you got a lot. You got a lot in here. You got a lot. But I'm looking here, and yeah, for the most part, I see a pretty spread diversification. Now, we got a little bit of high in XEQT. However, if you're going to get high, oh boy, that came off wrong. If you're going to get highly diversified in an ETF, XEQT is probably, or any of the all equity. Because, this here is global. This is giving you Canada, the United States, Europe, Asia. I think there's Australia in there too, emerging markets. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of diversification across this one. So yeah, XEQT, absolutely a good one. Absolutely a good one. It's a good bottom for sure. All right, now. And one thing I'm seeing right away is just from looking at your top holdings, I can tell this is you are geared more towards dividend growth for sure. Dividend growth, I can see it here. XEI, here's another one. This is a good S&P, basically TSX. So S&P TSX. Yeah, so there's some more good Canadian stuff in here, and we got, of course, the iShares in here. So this here is your capped materials. So fantastic. I know materials has struggled in the last little while, but I like materials. All right, we got silver bullion. All right, tying in with XMA and some more silver. So there's silver junior. Now, yeah, Lance, you're definitely bullish on silver, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, we also got some Bitcoin. Fantastic. Now, one question I have, are you holding your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet, or is it on Wealthsimple or Shakepay? All right, CGL, gold bullion. All right, perfect. All right, then we got some Loblaws. Nice. And Enbridge. Ooh, XAD. So this is your US aerospace. Yeah, not a bad sector. We got some Nutrien in here. Here's some more Mackenzie. It's great. We're seeing more Mackenzie. So this here is their core resources. We got Royal Bank, and ooh, we got uranium. I am very bullish on uranium, guys. We got CNQ, and let's see here, AI in here. So we got Global X Artificial Intelligence, so another one I like. CNR. We got a little bit of Ethereum here. All right, we're gonna get some pretty good crypto exposure. Got at least Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's see, we got some healthcare, treasury. So T-bill in there. So you get some treasury in there. Okay. I mean, I personally am not big on those, but some people really like them, and that they are pretty consistent. That's one of the things that people like about them. All right, we got Gibson Energy. Okay. Sun Life Financial. Ooh, Matrix. I love this. So I recently deep dived Matrix. This here is your AI infrastructure. So this is all of the stuff that makes AI go. So I love this little one. And it's only been out for a while, not about a year, but I do like it a lot. All right, Arbot. So Global X Robotics and AI. Now that's one I have not thought about. That's a good one. That is a good one, Lance. Let's see here. HHIS, Harvest. Yeah, of course, I like HHIS. We got a little bit of MSTE. We got some Fortis, and we got some Solana. All right, not bad. So yeah, we definitely have overall dividend growth big on the books. You had a little bit of income in there, not a lot. And I did see your comment here about T-bill being for dry powder. Okay, cool. So yeah, not bad. It's a obviously the overall goal, dividend growth. So that's what it's going to do. This is a good one for growing. And I mean, and Lance has got quite a long runway. So this is not bad for where Lance is on that journey. So yeah, pretty good job. Pretty good job. All right, now, Scott. I've never done a DNA ancestry thing, but I'm pretty sure it would be Scottish Irish. Okay, fair enough. I tell them that I thought I already guessed younger. There we go. Well, you know what you do, Angelo, is that, so let's say they're 50 and they think they look younger, and you went and guessed 50. And then you see that they're a little upset, and you can say, "Oh gosh," you say, "You know what? I was thinking 45, but I was just like, no, you're too wise for 45." And that kind of guided me a little higher. But I thought I was going to overshoot, honestly. That way there, bang, you give them that, you give them that compliment in there as well. Not only are you calling them young looking, you're calling them young looking and smart. Let's see. If you're closer to Dixie Road and Shawson, a gas at Canadian Tire and Esso are almost always the same as Highway 10 and King, or even less. Keep that in mind. Okay. Let's see. Lance says, I'm new to Blossom and don't use it. Okay, fair enough. Scott says, I'll keep in mind, thanks. That's a busy area. All right, I don't get high anymore. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Lisa says, just followed you, Lance. There you go, Lance. You got one more. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Or can we refresh? I guess we have to go back first. And then we have to click on Lance. You should have 3 now. Oh no, it still says 2. Wait a minute. Sometimes it doesn't refresh correctly. No, there you go. 3. Lance, you're moving up in the world. Zenio, thoughts on Cage? And if it will be a viable alternative to the various EQT ETFs. Yeah, so Cage. I was, when I was doing the top 10 videos on EQTs, I think that one is released already. I hope. I think. Yeah, it has. I ran into Cage. And I looked at it, and it was just so new that I didn't include it in my list for that reason. Of course, I didn't have a history. I like the idea of it, and I think it has potential. But is it going to replace, your XEQTs, your VEQTs? I don't know if it will. I think there's a chance. I think it's going to do the same thing. Like, I think if you go with either, I think you're going to be fine. But, this is the thing. I would like to see a little bit more history on Cage. Right now, we just don't have it. And I know there's been a lot of talk. And actually here, I don't even know how. I don't think they've been out for a week yet. So, but let's take a look. Here we go. Cage. Yeah, there we go. And this here is a CIBC. Excuse me. There we go. And yeah, I mean, it released at about 20, a little over 20, so 2012. And it's up at 21.45. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's great. But keep in mind, when that happened, there was a lot of recovery going on, So it's hard to say if this is going to beat them. I will say once we've got, I would say once we have about at least 3 months of data, it might be easier to sort of look at it. And yeah, you know what? And I've seen the videos on it, and I've seen some of the data, and I think there's a chance, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion yet. I think it'll definitely be competitive. I think if you switch, you're not going to be upset. I think if you don't switch, you're probably not going to be upset. But yeah, I think it will be. I think it will be another alternative for sure. All right, let's see here. Yes, that's for sure. The Highway 10 and King Street location gets really busy. All right. It's currently on Wealthsimple. Let's see. Boss says Canada would be making huge profit if we had built pipelines and ports in 2019s, and instead of trying to cripple the economy with green virtue signaling policies like the No Pipelines bill. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, yeah, if we had put in some pipelines sooner, it certainly would have been, it would have been bad. It would have been good. Like right now, there is a market. And here's the thing. If we, like there is that proposed pipeline from Alberta to northern BC. So what is it? Oh gosh, what's the name of that place? The name of the place, it's leaving me for the moment, but for some reason I keep thinking, is it Port Hope? No, it's not Port Hope. It's anyway. That one would, if it went through, they were looking at basically a very high capacity pipeline. So that would be fantastic. Like there is an oil pipeline from Alberta right now that goes to Vancouver, but it has a very limited capacity. It was built, it was built a long time ago. Nobody knew that we would need it like as much as we do now. But if this one were built, oh my gosh, guys, it would be good. Like we could, ironically, we can sell our heavy crude to China. It's still at a discount, but not as big of a discount as what we sell it to the States. So, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. All right. Scott says, I have a friend at Renforth and Rathburn, so I was just out that way. I should have stopped on the way back home. Oh, okay. Let's see. T-bill is for dry powder, right? Yeah, you were really close on weekends. It's easy to go there. Weekdays, stay away. Okay, let's see. It was Friday at Rush. Okay, yeah. So you guys are holding on a conversation. I'm just like, what? What? The rest of us are all going, what? What? Let's see. I always hated working downtown and trying to get home from a job site during rush hour. Rush hour is never fun. Let's see. I don't know if you've noticed, but I prefer to keep my U.S. exposure to ETFs. I was thinking of some CDRs in my TFSA to avoid messy tax filing for my taxable. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to go. I did see that. So yeah, I think that is a good way to go. Ian says, I'm on the fence. On the 8th, I'm going to revive a bunch of dividends or receive a bunch of dividends. Normally, I put 60% in my checkings and reinvest the rest. Might build a bigger cash position instead. Okay, fair enough. Driving during rush hour bothers me less now that I'm retired. Well, yeah, you don't have to, you're not in a hurry. That's for sure. But you're not like my mom though. My mom's that type of person that she can get angry at traffic. It's just like, where'd you learn to drive? That type of, but she might use some colorful metaphors in there. While checking out Lisa's profile, I found Adoro Clean Technologies. It's up my alley for what I like. Any thoughts on that company? Yeah, Adoro. And Adoro comes up quite a bit. So they have a technology that they're working on where they might be able to break down a lot of plastic. That's really kind of cool. I mean, if it works as well as they're hoping, that could be huge. So Aduro, I think, has a lot of potential there. It's still a small company, but I do see a lot of potential with them. All right, Brian says, that's true. I usually had enough day already at work. I just wanted to get home. The gardener is a nightmare on a good day. Mary is in the house, guys. Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you haven't yet hit that like button, we were 5 away last time I looked from 50. Let's see if we got to the 50. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to have a quick bit of coffee here. All right. Gosh, that was good. Oh, there we are. We're at 54. Nice. And welcome, Mary. Good to see you. Scott says, well, maybe Doug will tunnel under the gardener now that he can't fly. Niece, no idle to go through my portfolio, only showing a few Canadian holdings because they don't have my Swedish and European holdings. Right, yeah. Um, However, I know long term, Blossom wants to expand into Europe. So somewhere's down the road that we may actually be able to look at all of your Swedish and European holdings. That'd be kind of cool. Can you really call it driving through rush hour? Oh, kinda, but yeah. A Vixter says, "Hi Candace, what's going on with gold and AEME?" Gold. Good old gold. Oh, it's almost time for some of the stuff to open up for us. Look at this, guys. Since we've been here, Bitcoin has bounced off of that support. So it might come back down here to 78 and then hopefully go back up. But yeah, we did get a bounce off. Do I have... Yeah, right now I don't have any gold data yet. At least right now, I'm not seeing any movement yet. But I think that will also open up at 6 o'clock. But yeah, part of what we're seeing with gold is as the market improves, there's a few things that are happening. Materials overall have suffered a little bit. Gold in particular, some people who hedged into gold while the markets were going crazy, some of them are pulling that out. They're pulling it out, putting it back into equities. It's kind of that thing where we will get a certain amount of movement back and forth. Right now, the movement is in the other direction. I'm still bullish gold long term for sure. But right now, yeah, right now it's down a little bit. I know even Lundin Gold is down quite a bit. Bismarcky, more stop and go, but mostly stop. Let's see, that's for sure, Biz. Scott, why do they call it rush hour when traffic moves so slow? Says the observational comic. I know. Yeah. Yeah, rush hour is just, it's not good. It's not good. All right, let's see. Trump announced Project Freedom. If I read it right, the U.S. will be escorting neutral ships through the Strait of Hormuz starting tomorrow. Well, here's the problem. So a lot of these tankers are not going to move. Whether or not they're being escorted by the U.S., they're not moving until their insurance companies say they can move. Insurance companies are not going to sign off on this. So you will not see a lot of ships moving through. Even if they start doing this, if Iran's just like, if Iran says, heck no, all it takes is a couple drone attacks and it'll put an end to that very fast. So I wouldn't be optimistic about this, Lance, because, just the insurance companies alone, even when we got the initial ceasefire and Iran said the strait was open, 2 ships went through. The rest of them didn't because their insurance company said, nope, let's wait and see. So yeah, it's not going to, I don't think that will have any impact really. It's, what can I say? Brian says Trump will escort the Russian and Chinese ships. Well, the Russian and Chinese ships probably don't need anyone to escort them. I mean, if they can get through both blockades, I mean, they're both friends with Iran. Iran would probably be like, yeah, sure, but give us some money though. And that's the thing. Iran would probably, because Iran's talking about charging, a fee to go through the strait. So, oh boy. And I think that's going to be a big stickler when it comes to any kind of negotiation, because I think Iran is thinking, we can use that fee to rebuild the country. Because Donald Trump tried to make a giant golf course out of Iran. So, yeah, I think that's kind of where they're sitting for that for sure. So, oh boy, what can I say? Oh gosh. Well, at least now I'm kind of curious to see what these markets are going to look like here. We got what? What time is it? Oh yeah, we got 12 minutes. Brian says Iran wanted the money to rebuild what the U.S. destroyed. Yes. Yeah. And I think they also wanted the U.S. to just give them the money to rebuild, and the U.S. is not going to do that. There's no way Trump's going to say, oh, yeah, or I'll just give you all of our tariff money. That's not going to happen. And even then, the only one, I guess the only bright spot of this war is that you know, Trump hasn't really been hitting the tariffs that much. Although, what was it? Just early towards the end of last week, he did threaten more tariffs on the EU, auto tariffs. All right. Nee says, can't buy Canadian REITs, but I have one of the few monthly dividends coming here in Sweden. Cybus, they own buildings for food stores, pays out like 0.9% of a euro totally per year. Oh, nice. Scott says, a giant golf course out of Iran. Wouldn't it just be a sand trap? Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know. And here's the thing, you know, I think a lot of us in the West, we sort of envision a place like Iran and we sort of think of just all desert. I don't think it's all desert though. I think Iran, I think more Iraq. If you go to Iraq, it's probably there's probably a lot more deserts, I think, in Iraq than Iran. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know the well, you know what? Now I'm curious. All right, let's do it. Let's, all right, geography of Iran. Guys, we're all about to learn something here. There we go. Oh, look at this. It's actually more mountainous, Scott. I did not realize this. So, all right, let's take a look here. So the key geography, we got mountain ranges. So we got the Zagros. So sort of in the middle of the country, running from northwest. All right. Okay, there are some deserts. Okay, so the Central Plateau includes two major deserts. I'm not going to name them. Then we got coastlines, climate highly varied, including subtropical plains, arid, semi-arid desert basins, and cold mountainous. All right, so there's some deserts there. So all right, I guess we can say the deserts. But yeah, so deserts, mountains, and some subtropical. All right, that makes sense. Scott, it's easier to play out of a sand trap than a pond. I have never played, I've played mini golf, but I've never played actual golf. Let's see. Ian says they should call this war in Iran Operation Sand Trap. Oh, I like that one. And then if they were playing it in the jungle part, they could call it Operation Venus Flytrap. No, just... Brian says I can kit my drive. I guess it's kite. I can kite my drives 300 yards, but I need a GPS to find my way back out of the goods. Okay. Let's see. Well, he's dealing with a water hazard too. Oh, hit. You can hit your drives. Okay. All right. Woods, not goods. Okay, there we go. Autocorrect is not your friend today, Brian. It's taking its own liberties for sure. It's just in there going, oh, let's see what we can do. Oh boy, that's hilarious. That is absolutely funny. But oh well, what can you do? Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh well. I guess it could be worse. I don't know. Oh, it's time for coffee, guys. Very good. Very good. Oh, I got a little bit. I'm trying to pace myself. That's kind of what I have to do. Trump and escorts, what could go wrong? Oh God. Oh, okay, Scott. Yeah, you can have the laughing goat for that one. That is kind of funny. Oh my gosh. Yep. What could go wrong? Brian, in my defense, I have counting 6 keys that are completely worn off of my Bluetooth keyboard. Okay, Brian, it's time to get a new keyboard. Or, I mean, you know, if the keyboard works fine, other than the fact that some keys are, rubbed off, you could probably, I don't know, if could you maybe just draw them back on with a Sharpie or something? Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I saw a video the other day made by AI called Trump Sings Open the Straight. Have you seen it? It's a 3-minute video and made me laugh. AI is unreal. Worth the watch. I did not see it. But I did see something. Now, what did I see? I saw something that was AI generated the other day, and I was just like, it was actually quite funny. Oh gosh, it's completely slipped my mind what it was. I've seen so many things in the last couple of days. Redwater says Trump will want Iran to accept Walmart's, Costco, McDonald's, Home Depots. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I will say right now, I can almost guarantee this. If Iran proposed a you know, a peace treaty that was perfectly good, I still think Donald Trump wouldn't accept it for the simple reason that he didn't come up with it. So that's, I think his ego is going to play in there a little bit too. Oh, I did see something the other day that I thought was hilarious. And amazingly enough, Donald Trump was giving a speech, and he just mentioned how Melania, how she hates it when he dances to a YMCA. I'm like, oh. And he acknowledged that she says it's a gay anthem and it shouldn't be his song. But he still does it. And then after he finished that speech, apparently they turned on YMCA and he danced out with it. But I was just like, it's funny. It's funny that Melania thinks the same thing about that song. I was just like, it doesn't suit your agenda. It's actually funny. Initially, when Donald Trump first started using it, the Village People actually sent him a cease and desist, but then I guess they came around. And now, well, heck, they performed on stage with him on it. So, but nonetheless, interesting. Scott, is one of them the backspace key, Brian? Give it a watch one day. I was actually catchy and made me chuckle. Yeah, Trump sings Open the Strait. All right. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Yeah, there's a crazy amount of AI stuff out there now. Yeah, and it's quite literally like every so often when I open up something, if it's a something on YouTube I've never seen before, as in I've never seen the person who makes it, I will sit there for the first little bit trying to figure out, is it AI or not? And there's been a couple of times where I'm looking at something and I'm like, this video feels a bit too perfect. It's got to be AI. It's got to be AI. So what I'm looking for is a mistake. Because if somebody is getting AI to do them, then they're not going to make mistakes, right? It'll be a little bit more polished. Whereas I think if it is AI, if it's not AI, you'll certainly have a little bit of, there'll be little errors. There might be something like that in there. It's actually funny. Ever since somebody once in my comments asked me if I was AI or claimed I was AI, because their actual comment was, "Oh, this was pretty good for AI." I was like, I'm not AI. I'm not AI, really. If I was AI, I would have made myself 10 years younger, maybe even a bit lighter. That's how I would have done it. But every so often, when I'm making the video, I'm like, oh, I should leave that there. I'll leave that there, because then that way people will know I'm not AI. So I will leave a few things. I'm starting to do that. I try to leave at least one breath in somewheres in each video, just so people can hear that I breathe. What can I say? On the live streams, it's okay. You guys hear me breathe. You hear me stumble. I make mistakes. I get tongue-tied. I mispronounce stuff. That all works. That all works. Scott. Trump getting grief over gays and straights. Oh, yes. Yes, he does. Ian, the Village People saw dollar signs and had a change of heart. One of the original members said it was not a gay anthem. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I heard that. And you know what? Money speaks. I mean, that motorcycle cop's hat, it's got to be expensive. What can I say? And construction workers, well, actually, the construction worker probably makes the most out of all of them. Let's see. Lance says, I've noticed most of the AI people make the exact same facial expression. have the same tone and can say certain words, the year 2026 will be called 2026. There's definitely little giveaways, and sometimes it's with numbers. Sometimes they will botch numbers big time, and a lot of times, they kind of have this very cardboard appearance, like they're not moving much, and you probably won't see their hands coming and going, blah, 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 that type of, well, probably not like that, like maybe if you were Beaker, but you probably don't see as much animation, and no matter where you were to slice into the video, it probably all looks exactly the same. So, but I don't know. I'm smart enough that if I were to make an AI avatar, I would probably script mistakes into the script on purpose. So people wouldn't know. Well, heck, if I ever make an AI avatar, when I finally at that point where, everybody has AI avatars and I finally say, fine, I'll do it too. You guys will know. I'll be very straightforward and upfront and saying, I got an AI avatar now. But if it ever gets there, I will still write everything. But guys, I don't think that's going to happen. I have too much fun on the camera. It's not happening. Ian says, if I ever met a celebrity in real life, I'm going to ask them if they are AI. Then I'm going to argue with them. There we go. So you mean if you meet a celebrity in, okay. That would be funny. That would be funny. Let's see here. Scott, not the backspace key. I type, hit enter, and see what I got. My spacebar does not work sometimes, though. You need a new keyboard. You might just need a new keyboard. With Trump pulling 5,000 military from Germany and his other backlash strikes at allies and NATO as a whole, we could be looking at a serious destabilization of the Western civilization. Yes. I think Poland, I believe Poland came out and said that they thought that NATO was in a lot of trouble recently. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And, when you look at that whole defense thing, it's interesting how the NATO members are excluding the U.S. So with that new defense bank that's going to be in Canada, so could we see something, basically another alliance that comes out of NATO? Basically, it would be like NATO but without the United States. Could that happen? Maybe. They've got to have some kind of a contingency. WTI moving. Uh-oh. Let's take a gander. All right, let's get back here to oil. Here we go. Where is oil? Oil should be right there. There we are, right here. So let's take a look here. WTI right now. It actually moved down. It actually moved down, guys. It gapped down. So it was, let's see right here on Friday, it was sitting here at $104 a barrel. Now it's down to 101. What about Brent? Did Brent gap down? Yeah, Brent did the same thing too. So, it's been a calm weekend. So this is, once again, this is probably going to be a green day tomorrow. With these gaps to the downside, we're probably looking at a green day tomorrow. Ian says, when I was young, I used to ask cops if they were real cops or just Village People fans. They hated that. Oh my gosh, Ian. Yeah, that's actually funny. It's all you almost got a second goat laughing. But if I give the goat laughing for everything, then it loses its power. Let's see, Scott. I doubt that, Ian, when you got pulled over. That would be funny. If you were to ask somebody, oh, did I get pulled over by the Village People? Where's the cowboy? Brian says, gotta run. Have a good evening, everyone. Well, enjoy yourself, Brian. Have a great evening. Actually, there should be a hockey game starting soon. It might actually be starting now. I don't know. Let me take a look here and see. So if anybody does have to leave to go watch hockey, that's okay. Oh, wait a minute. NHL. I'm just pulling up NHL.com here. That we're there. We'll see. We'll take a look and see. It's supposed to start at 8 Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern, which is now. So that game should be starting soon. All right. Ian says, I read somewhere they pulled 5,000 from Germany but left 30,000. The 5,000 was from a buildup from when Russia invaded Ukraine. Hey, I heard the 5,000. I never really heard whether they left any or what that situation is, but yeah, absolutely. Well, now here's the other thing. I don't know where those 5,000 going home, or are they going to are they going to the Middle East? I do not know that part. Let's see. Lance says copper is up. I'm hoping silver gets on the elevator and goes up. Here, let me pull this over a little bit. Right now, my copper's not showing. I probably need a different copper, to be honest. Silver, let's just go to silver. Yeah, silver's moved up a little bit right now. It's yeah, it's moving up a tiny bit. So we'll see. Gold's moving up a tiny bit. Like I said, copper right now, I do not have. It's showing it as still closed. So I think I need another copper. Nee says in a few years, movies will be done without people. Agreed. I've actually seen. I was watching this one guy, and he did a prank where he basically made his own version of Netflix, but he put himself into some of the movies and his friends into some of the movies and stuff. It was funny. But the fact that he was able to just do this for a YouTube video and sort of create a working Netflix, I think he called it a Notflix. It was actually, you couldn't have done it without AI. And I was just like, holy cow, that's pretty cool. All right, Cowboy, welcome back, Cowboy. Haven't seen you in a while. Canada's military has less members than the New York Police Department. Is that true? I don't know. That's why I say, is that true? Holy cow. It might be. That's one of the problems that Canada is facing when it comes to upping our GDP spend on military, is that, recruitment. There's not a lot, and I have seen recruitment posters around. So maybe that is true. Holy cow. It's one of those things where I think it shouldn't be true, though. It shouldn't be true. All right, Conway. Ian, I never asked them that if I was driving. If I was a drunk passenger, I used to mess with the cops. Doubt my friends appreciated it. Probably not. Probably not. But at the same time, all your friends have got to say, officer, I'm the designated driver. Now you understand what I go through. That's what you'd have to go. Scott says, did you at least chip in for the ticket? There we go. Yeah. Lance, I use XCUUSD. Is that the wrong one for copper? Good question. Let's see right now. All right, let me pull up. Let's take a gander. I'm gonna see if there's another copper. Obviously, if it's all right, copper. Here we go. So, all right, that's the one that you're using here. XCUUSD. All right. Let's grab that one. I think that one is fine. Yeah, absolutely. Let me look at this here. Let me pull this up here. Let's take a. All right, let's grab we'll grab the new copper. We're going to move it up. All right. Here we go. Okay, so all right, I'm taking a look. We got both here. So this will at least show us the direction of. They seem to be in different units, though. Like right here, we got this copper. Well, this one is 12,000. This one is 6.00127. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have to. I'll double check. Here. See, this here is CFDs on copper. This one's CFD. Yeah, they're both CFDs. One's from Capital Time. The other is from Blueberry Real Time. Okay, interesting. Yeah, they're both real time. Capital Calm versus Blueberry. All right, I'll leave them both for now. I'll look into it and figure that out. Ian says, we used to split tickets or just take turns. Okay, very cool. All right, guys, we've got, well, we can go, we normally go to about 2.5 hours. So that means we got about 20 minutes. So if you guys have your final questions, Get him on in. Get him on in, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there for sure. Let me take a look here. Yeah, see, I like this one better. It does show copper is going up. So yeah, let me do some research on these two, because maybe I've been using the wrong copper in here. And that's a possibility. I did have to change a few of my oils so that I could get oils that were at least representative. Yeah, for sure. Let's see, Ian. I don't know how many tickets I got for open liquor in a vehicle, or minor in possession of alcohol was 175. Now it's over 360. Last one I got was almost 20 years ago. I have only been pulled over by the police, well, technically twice. The first time, I went through a red light on my bicycle, and it was actually a cop on the side of the road who flagged me over. I don't know why I stopped, but there was a reason I went through the red light, but I could not tell her why I went through the red light. The reason was my brakes. I had no brakes on the bike. So if nothing was coming, I wasn't going to use my sneakers to stop, because I'd have to basically put my foot down on the road and use friction to stop myself. And nothing was coming, so I went through the red light. And I got caught. But I wasn't about to tell her, because I figured if I told her, I would probably not be allowed to ride the bike. And then I would be trapped. This was actually in Kingston. I would have been trapped downtown Kingston, and I lived out towards Bay Ridge. So yeah, I did. Anyway, she just gave me a warning and said, pay attention. I just told her, I said, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. She gave me a warning. Now, the second time I got pulled over, once again, it was on a bicycle. It was in Kelowna. I had quite literally just moved to Kelowna, and I borrowed a bike, and I was out I just wanted to do a quick little drive, and they pulled me over in a car. I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, all right. And they said, do you know we have a helmet law? We have a helmet law. You should be wearing a helmet. I'm like, no, I don't know about that. and they were writing me up, and I was just like, oh gosh. And then they were like, where do you live? And I'm like, do you want the address? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know where you live? I said, I don't know. And they said, we can throw your car in our trunk, and we can take you away. I was just like, I'm like, all right. I said, if you want to do that, I can give you directions to where it is, and then you can write the number off the door. And I said, I just moved there today. I don't know the address. I haven't memorized it. And but oh boy, it looked like it was getting bad. And then they finally said, all right, well, we're just writing you a warning this time, but you wear a helmet, and don't drive the bike, walk it. So I walked the bike back. I was just like, anyway, yeah. So there we go. All right. Lance says non-farm and unemployment rate announcement Friday morning. Looking forward to see what happens and how the market reacts. Yeah, let's take a look at that. I don't think I looked at that on Friday. That's odd for me. I normally look at that all the time. So let's quickly go in here. Reports, U.S. calendar. Here we go. All right. That's this week. I want last week. All right. Here we go. Unemployment report. So let's take a look here. And I hate this one. It doesn't show me. Medium forecast actual. Oh, did they not update this? Did they not update this? Here we go. Friday. Oh, that's Friday, May. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is for the 8th of May. All right. So yeah, this is coming out on Friday, this Friday. So not last Friday. Okay, never mind. Did something come out on on the Friday that just passed here? Let me just pull it up and see. Yeah, okay. It's the coming Friday. Okay. I was like, how did I miss that? I was like, how did I miss that? Because that's not something I would normally miss. Now I know, because it didn't happen. It's happening this Friday. Okay, I get it. Ian, I meant the tickets were 175, not that I had 175 tickets, but you probably knew that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, 175 tickets, I think you would have lost your license many times over. Cowboy, NYPD, 54,000. Canadian regular full-time military, 42,000. Holy banana bread. Reserves, 25. All right, if you add the reserves in. It's actually funny. At one point, I almost joined the reserves because I was thinking about it when I was in Sea Cadets. I was like, I should just join the reserves. It's doing the same thing I do in Sea Cadets, but I get paid. Never did, though. Never did. But I thought about it. Scott, I got pulled over for rolling through a stop sign at about 2 a.m. They asked if I had a reason. I said yes because my shifter broke and I only had third and fourth. Showed the shifter flopping around. No ticket. Nice. Let's see. Not last Friday. This Friday, the 8th, they come out. Okay, yeah, exactly. Exactly. we just discovered that. Niece, here you can get tickets for drunk driving on bicycles. Oh boy. Well, you can get tickets on your bicycle in Calgary. So Calgary, they've got bike lanes and they actually have speed limits on the bike lanes. So if you manage to drive past the speed limit and one of the bike cops comes along, they can give you a ticket. I don't think I've ever, well, I've definitely gone faster than the speed limit, but not at the same time as there being a cop on a bicycle there. But it makes sense because a lot of people walk on the bike paths in Calgary. So if you're going really, really fast, and there's and there's a lot of less, if you're not on a straight part, there could definitely be an accident. And it's never fun to hit a person on a bike. Ian says, I've heard DUIs on bicycles were possible, but I've never met someone who got one. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I can understand how it could be dangerous, though. It could be dangerous not because, let's say, yeah, it's super dangerous for you, but if you swerve out into, because you're drunk and you swerve out into the traffic and somebody has to swerve to try to miss you, and hits another car, you could cause quite an accident. So yeah, I would say that would be a bad thing for sure. So holy banana bread. All right. Yeah, the game, by the way, is underway. Right now we are in the first period. We've had about, there's about 16 minutes and 20 seconds left. It's still 0-0, so we'll have to see. But that's good. As long as if the Canadians can make it through the first period, even if it's 0-0 after the first period, if they can keep Tampa off the board for the first period, that would be really, really good. Ian says, back in the day, if you saw an adult on a bicycle, it was because they got a DUI. There we go. Ah, boy. Yeah, well, I know, I only got my license, quite literally, guys, 2-3 years ago. So yeah, even in my 40s, if somebody was like, oh, can I, I'll lend you my car, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have a license. And they're like, oh, did you lose it for drinking? No, I just never had one. So anyway, Scott says, I wonder if that also applies to weed. I don't know what the rules are. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do weed and drive. I'm pretty sure of that. Niece said I had a classmate in the 9th grade that got late to school because he got stopped and fined for speeding on a bicycle. Nice. Well, you know what? At least the teachers can't argue with the ticket. They're like, oh, well, you tried. Scott says, did they live on top of a mountain? Well, it depends on what the speed limit is, right? Let's see, Niece, no law that you need to have a meter for speed on a bicycle. And that's the thing. Most bicycle, you don't have any kind of a speedometer. So it's like, how are you supposed to know? And that would be my argument. It's like, I don't have a speedometer. How am I supposed to know what 35 kilometers an hour is? Or 25 or whatever it is. Scott says school at the bottom. Yeah, I made it part of the way there. The most dangerous thing though, guys, and I'll tell you this, I did a lot of biking, but you're going downhill and you're going at a nice speed. Nothing worse than that person just opening their door right in your way. I always, quite literally, I'd be watching parked cars and I would give them enough of a berth. If I give them as much berth I could give them. especially if I'm going at a fast speed down a hill, because if you hit one of those, if somebody opened their car door and you hit it, oh, I have a feeling you're not going to be having a good day. Cowboy knew a guy with a DUI suspension. Cops told him to get off the lawn tractor because it's motorized and could be charged with driving on suspension. Oh, wow. Really? You see, I didn't, guys, it's kind of an interesting thing because as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, but if you have a ride-on lawnmower, you should be allowed to drive it in your own yard without a license, I think. Maybe, I don't know. I've never thought about it. I've never used one, but yeah, it's interesting. That's really, 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 really interesting for sure. Yikes. Okay. But here's the thing. I think if you were to take that motorized lawnmower and then take it onto the road, maybe then you need a license to take it onto the highway, or onto, even if it's just going down a rural road, maybe then, but I'm not 100% sure. Scott says, I don't think you could get fined for anything that doesn't require a license to operate. TTT3, no, 100,000 total personnel military. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, well, let me ask, Cowboy, the numbers that you gave me, is that including all of the office personnel and all of that? Maybe, I honestly, I don't know. I have no idea what the numbers look like. But what can I say? King of Day saying happy Sunday. I stopped in to say hello. I got pulled into an emergency meeting at work. Oh, yikes. It must be a big emergency if it's a Sunday, right? Oh, but yeah, I've been there before. Lance says, I've gone down on a city bike while on a trail. No city bike had any business being on while drinking Red Bull, smoking weed, and eating mushrooms. I flew off the handlebars 50 feet. Good memories. I will tell you the weirdest thing that ever happened to me on a bicycle. It was that same bicycle that had no brakes. Now, mind you, it wasn't the same bicycle, but it had no brakes, had no back brakes. The front brakes worked. They were the only ones that worked. And I was just driving along and I just happened to glance up and there was a giant pothole right in front of me. I was about to hit it. Without thinking, I hit the front brakes. And, well, you can imagine what happened. So I hit the front brakes and things blurred for a second. And then I'm standing on the other side of the pothole on the pavement, just standing there. And the bike crashes down in front of me. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? And somehow, totally by fluke, it flipped me in the air and I landed on my feet. It was kind of a blur, but I was like, that was like a 1 in a billion. That was like a 1 in a billion landing. It's like I must have been, it's like in a past life I had to have been a martial artist or something. But I just like, if I hadn't been there myself, I wouldn't have believed it. It was weird. All right, Scott says, what about those mobility scooters? Can you get a DUI for those? That's a great question. Because a lot of those mobility people can't drive cars. Well, some can, but I mean, but many can't. So can you get a DUI on a mobility scooter? I honestly don't know. A motorized wheelchair. Well, no. There's no way with a motorized wheelchair. And I'll tell you why, because that would be discrimination. You could fight that in court. Because if a motorized wheelchair, if that's how you get around because you have a disability, you could simply argue that if you're going to give me a DUI, somebody walking down the sidewalk drunk needs to get a DUI too. So, I would think that one would be arguable. Says the military doesn't break down by trade. Okay, fair enough. Like I said, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. Maybe I'll have to look into it just because I'm kind of curious now. Oh boy, You guys have gotten me so curious. What can I say? All right, let me see here. Oh, there we go. Pulling myself back. All right, guys. Well, we did it. We made it. We made it to the 2.5 hours. Which is fantastic. I like it. Um, yeah, it's another Sunday. Now we do have a market close tomorrow, by the way. So we have a market close tomorrow. The 0 to 100K challenge will drop tomorrow in the afternoon. It won't be in the morning because I have to film it and edit it. So it'll be in the afternoon. So that'll drop for the channel members. Everybody else, you'll be able to see that on Tuesday. Um, and then Tuesday night, guys, we do have after office hours at 7 p.m. We might have if you guys decide to add a market close, we may have a market close on Tuesday. But in addition to that, we'll definitely have our after hours. And normally that is for channel members only. But the first one of every month, I open it up to everybody. So everybody can come Tuesday night. Those are fun because we kind of don't even talk about finance. We can if you want to, but it's a chill stream. It's what we call the chill. It's after office hours. So that will be a pretty darn awesome. I love those ones. Scott says, just saying a riding mower is a slippery slope. It can be for sure. All right, guys. So I will see you guys back here again tomorrow. I can't wait. Until then, I do have a couple things I wanted to say before I leave. I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It is bye-bye.